Welcome back to Car-Pinionated, our weekly show on cars, the car industry, and driving in general. I'm Doug Stewart, digital executive producer, and this is my friend Glenn Packman, and he is a car enthusiast from Fairfield County, Connecticut, and he's a home appraiser, and he is a comedy genius and all-around good guy. Welcome back, Glenn. We've
Thank
missed
you.
you.
Thank you.
Jeff couldn't be here. Um, So we are today going to talk about the LA Auto Show, which was going on right before Thanksgiving. Uh, there was a whole bunch of stuff that came out. They had a very busy show, a lot of things happening. So let's launch right in. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was the new Kia Telluride.
All right.
I'm going to imagine that you are going to be seeing a significant amount of the Kia Telluride in your
Yeah.
neck of the woods.
Yes.
What
Yeah,
are you
we
thinking
do.
about? What are you
We
thinking about the new Telluride?
we do all right. Well, first off, I think it's notable in that I knew about the official launch of this way in advance. Kia has done a pretty good job of getting out there. The 20th of November in 2025, the next Telluride, be on the lookout for it. You're correct in that we have a lot of them in our neck of the woods. It ticks a lot of boxes. It moves the family. It's semi-luxury without a semi-luxury price.
Hmm.
And that's saying a lot in that it keeps up look-wise, ride-wise. I don't know about quality. People argue about Kia quality. We had two Sorrentos, neither of which gave us any sort of problems. But I suppose you're not getting Lexus quality from a Kia car. That's to be expected, I guess. But you're also paying half the price. Um, all that being said, I've seen the photos of the new one, and I'm going to be reserved and say that I'm probably going to spare my real judgment on it until I see it up close. There are things about it I like. I do like that they haven't done anything really crazy or wacky with the design. In fact, it seems to be a little bit on the understated side, in my point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's- I'm thinking of,
I have the big reservations. You just go.
oh, okay, all right. I'm circling around. So like
Yeah.
from the back it looks an awful lot like one of the Land Rovers that's out there. From the side, I'm glad that they didn't go with the sort of hockey stick shape in the back pillar and they went with the more standard
Hmm.
cutout. So on three sides it looks good. Where I'm really doing one of these, this is the front end. Which is the problem we had with the Palisade.
Hmm.
And just from first glance, when the first look that I had at the front end, I said, "Ooh, that looks like a cheap hunk of plastic." And it just does.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know what it is about it, but it screams plasticky, cheap. And it's both, I don't know, from what I'm seeing, it's both not attractive and completely like trying to be innocuous in many ways. It's just a big wall of black grill stuff, and it doesn't have anything special going on. And that was one of the things I really liked about the old one was it had the cool headlights and had some detail on it, was handsome without being too in your face. I just, if that's the front end we're going to get, it's a miss.
Yeah.
It's definitely a miss.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the so-called uh, window air conditioning unit on the front of many of the Palisades. P.S. I've been seeing the Palisade, the
Yeah.
new one around here. In fact, I parked right next door to one, and none of them, and I mean exactly none, have had that because everybody's going with the upper end version,
Right. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
doesn't have that. And I'm curious about the Telluride too. I kind of want to see it up close to see if I go, oh, okay, well now I get it, or if
Yeah.
I go, yep, I was right, it's ugly.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, and all the other three sides, I'm cool with it. Um, the
Hmm.
interior looks good. It's a little bit bigger, which I don't think they'd necessarily needed to do, but that's just
Yeah.
seems to be the natural progression of any car nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. When the first ones they showed was the XRT, the off-roady
Right.
version. And I took one look at that front end and I'm like, oh no, 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 no. It looks like it doesn't have headlights. I mean, I know it does, it has to,
Right.
but they're and I get that headlight design is a refined art these days, but it looked like we put this big black slab here.
Hmm.
Oh, we should put the headlights somewhere and we'll just do these things. And
Right.
it's just no, 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 it
Right.
doesn't. It doesn't work. The rest of
Uh,
it, beautiful.
yes. Yeah.
You're emulating a fantastic car design wise when it comes to the Land Rover,
Hmm.
because that top end Land Rover is just beautiful and it always has been. Um, it's I think they need to pay royalties, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and the interior I think is lovely. It's crisp, it's clean, it has a nice aesthetic to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and when you're inside the vehicle, you don't have to look at the grill. So,
Right. Right.
you know, um, but they are gonna have a gas turbo 2.5 liter hybrid engine, and the hybrid has
Hmm.
an 8-speed transmission, 8-speed
Hmm.
automatic transmission, and the other one has just the gas turbo. The gas only has a 6-speed transmission, and the hybrid has an 8.
Got it.
And the difference between them, the hybrid has 329 horsepower, and the gas only has 274 horsepower.
Right.
Remember when 100 horsepower was a lot for a car?
Yeah. I do
Cars
actually.
were a lot lighter then, but
Yes, they were. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a lot of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so moving on, because there was a lot of stuff out there. Um, the Jeep Recon. Dave and I talked about this last week. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the Jeep Recon.
I I'm interested in it. It looks like it's a cool size. I like that it's built to have actually some off-roading capability. I
Hmm.
guess
Yep.
the
It's
ground
trail
clearance is about
rated.
nine
Yep.
inches, which is really very good.
Hmm.
You don't see a lot of that. And it looks like it's going to come with all sorts of fun options, like you can leave the doors off and stuff like that. Nothing I would be interested in. I'm anxious to another one. I'm anxious to see up close. I kind of want to gauge the size on it. We're we're seeing so many big vehicles that it's nice to see a little bit of accent on some more mid-range side ones.
Hmm.
I mean, Americans will never buy little cars ever. We just have never warmed up to them. But it would be nice to see some things that fit in a parking space a little easier, or my aforementioned tiny little garage. I did it's tangential, but on a sidebar, I read an interesting article that there were Instagrammers at the LA Auto Show that proceeded to film them
Yes.
actually taking apart,
Taking it apart.
pulling apart the interior.
Yeah.
Not
Did
cool.
did did you
Not
see
cool.
did you
Not
see
cool.
the actual post itself, the
Hmm?
Instagram post?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I immediately, I mean, one of these guys, he's done a lot of tech, Mac, Instagram stuff, and TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. And I like him. I think I like the way he communicates. And he's with
Hmm.
somebody else now, and they're doing an automotive thing, and good for them. They're branching out, right? And they went to this thing and they're saying, "Oh my God, $60,000!" And look at the way this piece of fabric doesn't fit well. And look at this, and you can pull this off. And literally went and pulled part of the instrument, where the instrument panel is,
Yeah.
like the dials and stuff, that screen, pulled it off. And I'm like, oh, this is like a pre-production vehicle,
Right,
right?
right, exactly,
It's
exactly.
not, it's not, I'm surprised that Jeep let people in it,
Yeah,
because that's one of the reasons why they don't let people in those vehicles, because they're not
right.
I mean, this one's close to finalized, but like literally they were tearing it apart. And I was just amazed. They've since taken the post down. Um,
Yeah.
and Stellantis, correctly so, like blasted them for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got a lot of crap from um a lot of other automotive internet folks. And
Hmm.
it
Including
just
me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
both of us.
Ooh.
I just was like, no, man, this is not what you do. This is not, it's not fair to the car. I mean,
Right.
when the actual car comes out, and, if that's what is
Hmm.
done when that thing is the ones that are coming off the assembly line, fair game,
Right.
fair
Right.
game. But
Right.
this was not
Absolutely.
that car to do that.
Correct.
And yeah, yeah. That was unfortunate on their part.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't own the car or you haven't had permission to do that, then by all means. But like you said, this is a concept car. It's not a production model. If you're doing one of these things and you're sitting in a production model and you can yank things off like that, totally different story. Absolutely. But it just
Right.
I don't know.
But and I would add not at an auto show. I mean, if
Right.
you're on a
Right.
if you're on a junket or whatever, you get the car as a loaner. I mean, that's fair game to talk about. But
Sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely. Production model versus what they're demonstrating at, new at
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no,
And
no.
and we've talked
But
about this a little bit in the past that there's various stages. I mean, if you're unaware of these stages for the viewers, there is there's concept cars, and those are generally, they may not even have a motor, right? They might
right.
not have anything underneath, because they could be like a clay model a little bit,
Hmm.
but they're just hand built, and they may not have an interior and all sorts of things, right? And then you
Hmm.
move to like the pre-production, where they've put them on, there's a small assembly line, and they're kind of figuring out how they're going to build them and stuff. And those are what like first go out, and sometimes they'll uh journalists will test drive those, but they're always with the proviso like, all the software might not work, and all the dials may not, this might be not be finalized, and things
Hmm.
like that. And then there's always the first stages of the actual build, and those generally are what you can consider this is going to be what the car is like.
Right.
But I mean, I like the Recon.
Hmm.
I think it's a nice, if you smush the Wrangler and the new Cherokee together, I think you'd get this.
Yeah.
And I like the looks of it a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I still think they should have attached the mirrors to the body of the car rather than to the doors, but
Right. Right.
whatever.
Um, I will say that I think one of the things they've succeeded at design wise in this is that I think there is sort of uh, an unsaid feeling amongst a lot of people that electric vehicles are not meant to be rugged, that we haven't really had a rugged electrical vehicle. And it's like, of course you need a gas engine to
Yeah.
be rugged. And this car screams rugged and is 100% electric. And that's saying a lot. I understand the range isn't that great, but
Yeah.
they'll work on that. But 650 horsepower on some of the
Hmm.
models, that's a lot. It's going to be fast and it's going to
Hmm.
be, hefty. And I kind of like that they're putting it out there for, okay, so you're a rugged guy. You know, that's how you identify. How do you
Yeah.
identify? I identify as a rugged guy. Okay, great. Well, this is actually a car that's going to fit your niche. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So you don't need to be a guy either. I'm not saying sexist, but if you're outdoorsy or you want that capability or you just want that feel,
Yeah.
then it's all there in spades. And that's great for Jeep because that's their image, right? I
Hmm.
mean, that's what they're supposed to be shooting for. We all know that most people buy Jeeps to just drive around, and very rarely do people really go off the road or any place, that isn't paved. But There's a lot of people who want that capability. Great, there it is, and it's not a monster. That's my big thing. It's a nice size.
Yeah,
It's not one of these gargantuan. We're headed back towards that, and it frightens the hell out of me. So,
yeah. Dave pointed out last week that this is the same platform that the Wagoneer S is on.
okay, yeah,
And the Wagoneer S has a much longer range, like 280, I think.
yeah.
Um, but he thinks that they've done something with the gearing
Oh,
and that has changed it. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It'll be
right.
interesting. All right, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back with some talk about the Koreans. All right, we're back talking about cars, new vehicles at the LA Auto Show. Before we get to a couple Korean makes, we already talked about Kia, but I wanted to they had an exhibit with the Scout Terra and Traveler. So both the pickup truck and the SUV.
Hmm.
Did you see any of that?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm
Um,
looking it over now.
they had them there. My friend Martha, who went to the auto show, uh, said they were bigger than she thought they were going to be. Um, I mean, I really like the matte paint. Outside of the matte paint, I like the look of them, and I really think that um, going the way with the engine that can charge the battery and extend the
Right,
range, I think
right.
is a really interesting way to go. And I also heard something that Audi may get a version of the Scout.
Really?
So our friends at Genesis
Hmm.
were very busy over the summer,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the spring, the better part of the fall. So they had three vehicles, not all of which were introduced at the auto show, but the first one is the GV60 Magma,
Hmm.
which is uh, a lower, swoopier kind of uh, sporty thing
Yeah.
that really very sharp looking,
Hmm.
kind of these coupe sedan sort of hatchback things. I think it has a hatchback.
Hmm.
Um, what are you thinking about the Magma
Well,
GV70,
um,
GV60?
f- about the GV60, I've always liked the GV60, and I can understand if anybody out there is like, "Oh my God, it's the ugliest car on the road." I kind of get that too. It's definitely going to polarize people, but I've always thought it was kind of cool. It's different, that's for sure, and some of the
Mhm.
styling things are a little bit aggressive on it, but I think overall, it's a nice looking car. Um, it, I think it's deceptively small looking on the outside, and it's not so much so on the inside. Because the first time I saw it, it was, oh, it's a small Genesis, but it's not really that small either. So
Mhm.
that's kind of cool. I've always thought it's an interesting car. Um, I don't know about the Magma version. Here's what frightens me about the Magma version. The first thing that popped through my mind when I looked at it, that is never going to fit over a speed bump. Never. It's just it's it's one of these
Yeah.
down to the and have never understood that anyways. And the people who like their WRXs and the street racing crew, and to that end, yeah, okay,
Yeah. The
that
WRX, but like a high, like I think they're heading towards the M series
right,
or the AMGs, and that's what
right.
their goal is.
But with a much trendier approach, just because of the basics of this car are kind of quirky and a little bit weird. But I don't hate it. I just worry about how low it is. But then again, I worry about that with the Toyota Prius that's out right now. Yeah, it's another maybe in my. It's not anything I would ever have in my garage full time. But I respect anybody that would. Just be careful with speed bumps. That's it.
Yeah. Then we also have the G90 Wingback. So it's essentially a wagon version of their big sedan.
Right.
Oh man, do I want this. Please bring it to market. Please let me win Powerball. I was like, oh, look, it just, and you and I have long talked about wagons and how
Hmm.
sad we are that they don't, make many of them anymore.
Right.
Man, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and the pictures I saw were in this deep emerald green.
Right. So I'm looking at right
Oh,
now. Yeah.
take my money if that I don't have, right?
Right.
It just, turbo twin turbocharged V6 engine, 375 horsepower, um, supercharger. You can get it with a supercharger that boosts to 409 horsepower, and you can throw stuff in the back. Like
Right. Right.
how can you not love that? Right?
Hmm.
How can you not love that?
Um, my only question, I'm wondering if it's just the photographs or if it is actually the car. The wheelbase on this car looks like about the length of a football field. I don't, uh, it's a very long car in photographs, and I'm wondering if that sort of disappears when you see it up close.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's some angles of it where I'm like, okay, now I get it. In three quarters, there's the emerald green one you're talking about. They have a beautiful shot with like some sort of ambulance bay in the background in three quarters, and that I get. But some of them, like in profile, just so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even fit in the screen. I'm just like, but yeah, but I get it. I get it. And it is a wagon. And
Yes.
you're right. You're right. I kind of miss the old. It makes me was it the Dodge Magnum that was
Yeah.
there? Yeah. I didn't really get that car when it came out, and now that there's nothing else like it around, I
Mhm.
totally
Mhm.
but yeah, it's it certainly won't be mistaken for anything else out on the road, right? I mean that as a
Oh,
compliment. I truly do.
yes, yeah. And the
Yeah.
last one they had um, is the Genesis Magma GT, which is sort of this, I don't know, maybe I, I don't know if you would describe it as a supercar, but I think you could easily say it's their version of the top end Corvette or the
Mhm.
Ford GT or something like that, where, or the Mustang GTD, it's, may have a V8 engine. It's not clear what the powertrain is.
Mhm.
And that's a beautiful car too.
Yeah.
That's,
Yes. It
and
can't it can't be real. It's just
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah.
That my first impression is always the thing that sort of clubs me over the head. And when I saw the first pictures of it, it's like, oh, that's just AI. Who are they kidding? Because I do that so often nowadays where I say,
Right,
oh, it's beautiful, but it's not real.
right, yeah,
But yeah, I'd love to see this come to fruition. I wouldn't want,
yeah,
you know, they would have to off it would be at least 150, if not $200,000,
yeah.
but it sure is pretty, you
Yeah,
know.
it's not our price range.
No,
You'll
no.
see it in your neighborhood more than I
Yeah,
will in mine.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Here in hedge fund land, yeah, but yeah, not in my garage.
right. All right. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk about the Hyundai Crater.
Yes.
So, the Hyundai Crater kind of looked like a vehicle that was built for a post-apocalyptic movie.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the interior gives me like James Cameron sci-fi vibes and not in a good
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
No.
And okay, and this, like we were talking before, this is a concept. This is something
Right.
that, you know, is not planned for production. But it
Hmm.
just sort of says, look, we're going to plant this stake out there.
Right.
And because we think we can, we might
Hmm.
want to do this. We might want to have something like this in our lineup. And, it's got all sort of things. It's got cables from the roof to the roof rack, the hood to the roof rack
Hmm.
to brush limbs away as it goes. I don't know, like, you're not going to find that in Darien.
No.
Uh,
No.
uh, it's got the pixel lights because all the
Hmm.
EVs in Hyundai have the pixel lights, and you can make them show happy faces and stuff like that. And some of it's like, just dare to dream.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's attractive at all, but as maybe as I can see where this is the, this is where they're planting their stake here, and then if they were going to make it a production vehicle, it becomes nearer to reality.
Right, right,
Right. It is the dialed up version of what the reality might be.
right.
Okay, and that's a great point to be at.
Sure.
Here's my thing about it, and it goes for the company in general. Good on them. They sort of see, here's this idea, let's do it. They're not
Yeah.
afraid to put it out there and say, here's our, you know, all-terrain, drive it into the woods vehicle. Here's our supercar. Here's our, hey, we think wagons are cool. Let's do a
Mhm.
wagon,
Right.
and they're just putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
making statements says, we're going to try something.
Right.
I
Right.
think that's great.
I'm going to say that this car plants many seeds, and that's okay.
Mhm.
I don't get going into the woods though. I get going into the Dakar racing through the desert thing with this, and that's
Sure.
fine,
Sure.
But when I squint, the general shape is kind of intriguing. It almost gives you a little bit of like hatchbacky vibes. I don't think there's enough greenhouse in the
Mhm.
in the
Right.
the in the concept version, but there's room to work on something like this. I do kind of like that it sits up a little high, and it's an idea starter. Just
It-
if
it-
the idea is to duplicate the interior, then don't do that.
right. Right. And you remember a couple months back we talked about that Cadillac. Do you remember that Cadillac that we talked about with
Yes.
the high ground clearance and stuff like that, and the gull wing
Hmm.
doors and stuff like,
Yeah.
let's have a race between those through the desert.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
There you
So,
go.
all
There you
right.
go.
All right. So we're gonna land the plane here. Great stuff at the LA Auto Show. Wish we could have made it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will see you again next time.